So, a confession. My least favorite part of a conference or continuing education or any big event is the first 2 or 3 days back in the office. Because I go to this extremely inspiring event and I get all of these, what I think are helpful tips and ideas, and I get so excited to try them out, to make a change, to start something new. And I get back and I need to finalize the bulletins, or write that report, or decide how many more bottles of hand sanitizer we might need, or whether or not I should order more Bible highlighters, right? Yeah. And this pretty much always happens, like to the point where I expect it and actually watch for it now. And I know confirmation bias, but it pretty much always happens. Mountaintop to ground floor in 2.3 seconds. So, Transfiguration Sunday. By this point, the disciples have been through a lot with Jesus, and we've been through a lot too if we've been reading through this, beyond just the disciples' story even. Luke's gospel contains the stories from Jesus' life all the way back to his annunciation by the angel, through his arrival in Bethlehem, his birth, his baptism, temptation, the calling of the disciples, miracles, parables, healings, teachings, even at the beginning of this chapter, sending out the disciples to cast out demons and cure people themselves. It's a lot. But it's also not much compared to what's coming. Transfiguration. Jesus is transfigured right in front of their eyes, shining bright with divine glory and talking with Moses and Elijah, pretty much the most significant figures in the faith so far. And Peter, James, and John are there for this revelation on the mountaintop in that moment. Peter wants to stay there. I understand that. Or at least create a space there to return to, right? Dwelling places, site markers, for these literally larger than life people. But then a cloud overshadows them while Peter's still talking. And they go into the cloud, right? Verse 34, they entered the cloud. And, just imagine that for a second, that scene, being so moved by what you see that you can't help but start offering ideas and trying to figure out ways to mark this place or to stay there. And as you're doing that, a cloud shows up and kind of surrounds you like it would if you were in an airplane, right? You're enveloped in it. And then a voice comes from that cloud. It's pay attention time. This is my son, my chosen. Listen to him. Okay, got it. Enough said by me. But also, wow. We've heard this declaration before, right? At Jesus' baptism. But this confirms that event and affirms Jesus' identity to the disciples now, for certain. Who do you say that I am? Well, we've got a pretty solid answer here. Listen to him. What's he going to say? What's he going to do? Well, as with all amazing, inspiring, remarkable moments of epiphany and revelation, we can't stay there forever. There's work to do. Jesus goes back down the mountain, setting his face to Jerusalem, where all will be accomplished. And Peter, James, and John go with him. And after this mountaintop experience, what's the first thing that happens? Jesus, do your healing thing. Which is amazing, yes. But it is sort of his usual stuff. Mountaintop to ground floor in 2.3 seconds. But he does it. He heals the boy. And there's an interesting parallel with only son language there. But that's beside the point for today. The point is, we have this cosmic mountaintop experience, and then this. What Jesus has been doing all along, kind of his everyday work, just again. And here's the thing about that. Isn't that really the point? Who did Jesus come to help? Who is he called to care for? I mean, right here, who is he caring for? A random guy, unknown. We don't have his name. He's a stranger. But he needs help. And Jesus helps. Who are we called to care for? That ground floor sometimes feels like a disappointment, but that's the work. Being grounded isn't a bad thing. It gives context and offers concrete, tangible actions and shows us, the effects of those actions on our lives and the lives of those around us. It makes the ideas and hopes we have immediate and real. Everyday faithfulness in our vocations. Now, some of it will be, boring, ordinary, mundane tasks. Looking after the details and getting, things finalized, reports written. Sometimes it will feel like there's no forward movement, no matter how important the issue, that you've just kind of gotten as far as you can go and you're just sort of maintaining. And sometimes we'll be on that mountaintop and do or experience something amazing. And sometimes we'll be reminded what this is really all about. As we enter into Lent this year, we need to keep this lesson in mind because we've got some big things to talk about. The cosmic experience doesn't go away. In fact, it gives additional significance to all that follows. Cosmic significance, actually, in recognizing how we're meant to approach each day and who we're called to be and to help. Immediately following the Transfiguration and a conversation with Moses and Elijah and a confirmation of Jesus' identity, the voice from heaven, Jesus heals the son of a random stranger who needed help. So, yeah. Who are we called to care for? What are we called to do?